Hello everyone. Hope you're having a good week so far. Welcome to the Actionable ESG Talk series brought to you by AKFI Actionable Knowledge Foundation Institute, the world's first nonprofit industry consortium committed to bridging the gap between ESG, sustainability, and digital transformation. This talk series bring together great minds to discuss the current state and also the future state of the ESG, sustainability, and digital transformation. I'm delighted to welcome our today's guest, Alex Lee, to be here with us. Welcome, Alex.
Thank you for having me for this wonderful talk series.
It's our great pleasure. Thank you for taking the time joining me and Manuel. So a quick intro about Alex. I'm sure you guys will learn much more about how knowledgeable he is as we talk. Alex is part of the Actionable Knowledge Foundational Institute board advisor, and he's an emerging IT digital technology innovation and sustainable business strategy expert with 30 years experience in the high-tech industry. Alex is a partner at a company called Vincula Group. He's the CEO and principal consultant at Tech IPM LLC. He's a USA patent attorney and a New York State attorney as well. Alex is also a founder of online forum ESGDX, which is representing ESG plus digital transformation. It's a forum and enterprise industrial metaverse, including digital twins, AI, blockchain, IoT, XR, Convergence forum. Currently, Alex holds a PhD degree from the I learned that Alex taught us the proper way to say that, Johns Hopkins University, and he's also a JD from the Suffolk University.
Yeah.
Is this the proper way or the English way?
Yeah.
Suffolk, everyone.
Yeah, Bostonian accent.
Awesome. From Suffolk University Law School, and he's also has an executive certificate in strategy and innovation from MIT Sloan Schools of Management. That's a super impressive, incredible background, and it's such a pleasure again to have you here today, Alex.
Thank you. You actually introduced me very well about my 30 years experience, expertise in a compact way. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I had a hard time to learn about the correct pronunciation about Johns Hopkins and then Suffolk University.
That's great to learn.
Unless you are the local, it's very difficult to pronounce it correctly.
I'm sure.
The secrets of the locals.
Yes. So, all right. Let's get started. I can't wait. Yes, please.
Should I go for the first? And we usually start with a question that it's always asked from our guest. Again, thank you very much for accepting the invitation today, Alex. And taking a broad approach, what are your thoughts on current sustainability, ESG, and digital transformation trends? And we know very much that you deeply involved with those as much as you are involved also with Metaverse.
Oh, yeah.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. I think that before talk about trend, actually, why actually I recently focus on these topics. Actually, when the COVID-19 outbreak 2 years ago, actually everything was stopped. For example, especially I had a lot of projects before and require visiting like overseas, because before that I visited like South Korea, China, and other Singapore, Malaysia, even UK, in European country, in eastern and western part of the United States, and all stopped my project. And then I think about it's a good time to think about reflect my experience over 30 years. And then I think about it's a good time to think about my future. Based on my experience, I go through all the position in the high-tech industry means that I starting from the telecommunications and information technology and semiconductors and then digital. So I just think of a background is to fit into like all aspect of at the time the current status, the trend was AI, like big data. So I just think about based on my experience, what should I prepare after COVID-19, right? So I just think about that. Oh, what will be the future trend after the COVID-19? Because it'll be like in the some stop everything and then rebound, right? So I was just thinking about what was the best chance opportunity me to, for example, like that kind of like risk. How can I change the risk to opportunity, right? So I was thinking about after COVID-19, what will be the trend? Yeah, digital, because we now doing this kind of like a remote like meeting, right? So people's will be like it'll be, we cannot be like back to the like before the COVID-19, like a face-to-face meeting and then we commute every day and the work. But usually we will be mostly we work from home, and then we will meet in the virtually, right? And then even we don't need to travel to have some meeting, right? So I think about how can we support that kind of like is completely like a virtual, right? It's a digital transformation, right? So I imagine that, okay, so digital transformation will be accelerated. And then what should I prepare, right? So I just looking at the like a keyword of the digital transformation that initially that I think about the digital transformation means that not only the digitalization, it'll change your for example company, it'll change your company like the business practices and then your culture and everything, people's mind, right? So I was thinking about what will be the keywords for the representing this kind of the digital transformation acceleration. And at the time I found that Metaverse. Because Metaverse means that every people will be joining the Metaverse space. Actually, the Metaverse space is a digital transformation of your real world. And then people's living in the real world will be also living in the virtual world. And then they're back and forth. So I got the keyword Metaverse. Okay, so I will prepare my future as to focus on Metaverse and then looking at what kind of the innovation I should look at it and what kind of thing I can contribute. And then the other thing that I noticed was ESG sustainability because we got this like a very, very risk situation unexpectedly, right? It's a uncertain future. We don't know about it. And then we need to be resilient to that kind of risk, right? And then what kind of resilience we can have? Sustainability, it can provide the resiliency. So I found that, okay, so another future keyword after COVID-19 will be sustainability. Even it was exist before. As I told you before, that the digital transformation existed before, but it will be accelerated because of this COVID-19. I also think about that this sustainability will be also revived, and there will be get attention from the people and then going to be mainstream. So I prefer this ESG sustainability. It seems like a completely two different topic, right? Because I'm in my background in technology innovation, and also like a strategy is a traditional like a profit strategy, right? Is usually called like in the like ESG strategy means like for the like shareholder capitalism for profit. The company's purpose is for the shareholders, right, to investors, and then the purpose and then goal is to make a profit. Right, and then it will be changing to the other direction will be like they starting to will be to make a sustainable for the business or the sustainable for the society community in the world, right? They should care about another value we call sustainable value. So you, for example, for the care for the people, care for the like a community, society, and even our environment. That's we talk about. Even also like in the ESG, G means that also require we need to be more transparent in their business practice. Also ready to like a serious risk will happen like COVID-19. So they should be resilience in their business practice. So okay, so two topics have in mind. I'm starting to prepare, and then my goal was that actually my initial goal was to when I start this like a future like a goal that I'm going to be in the two direction and going to be like a expertise to like a learning and then have a expertise and then have something like influence over these two topics. And then I initially I suppose that it'll take like 1 year because based on my background, I boasted my background and experience that yeah, well I can do that. I spent 1 year. I just learned, and the old aspect actually that I could not get there, and then I spent another year. So I almost now 2 years spending. Now I think about yeah I can now know about, and then I can read something, and then I can influence and can contribute this to direction. And then I found that they have some similarity too. First, they will be prepared for the future, and then they will be contribute to like for example people, society, economics in after COVID-19, like to like a revival of the world economic system, right? So okay, then now I'm thinking about I know about the two pillars, right? The ESG society and then digital transformation actually the represented by the metaverse now. So how I can compose it to make a maximum value to the company, to the people, to the society, to the earth. So that's what I'm doing. So for the current sustainability ESG and digital transformation trend, is that exactly what I mentioned, right? They will be prepared for the like after the endemic, right? How we actually reshape our society, community, economy, right? So each will be go direction. That, for example, that the sustainability you know about recently we much care about the climate change, right? So carbon emission, and then like a net zero transitions, and then so you like a trend like for example government and the worldwide efforts about the, like how to migrate to the nature like a society like they call carbon free economy, and also they think about like the government in the interrupt, and then they require that the companies some criteria of the company should report how they manage their climate change risk, how they manage to reduce their carbon emission and reduce their waste. We usually call like a circular economy. So government also interrupt, and then also we discuss about like in changing from the like a capital like a shared capitalism and to the like for example like a stakeholder capitalism, and then we started to care about like not just for the shareholders, but we also like care about like society, people, and then all of the earth. So you know that a few days ago actually the World Earth Day, right? So is one of the activities. So companies are now, and the communities are now, is sustainability will be more like engaged by these stakeholders, and then more peoples and more stakeholders are thinking about, you know, like how we actually in a joint effort to make this situation is much better. So for example, that how we improve like diversity and inclusion, and then how to like avoid you for example the how you actually there was like discrimination by the sex and by ethnic. So the people are thinking about have a more valuable society based on this kind of sustainability. Also, and then there was a lot of the like a joint effort to how actually we can provide better environment to our next generation or something like that. So the one trend is that sustainability now considered as a mainstream business practice. That's the one particularly that we are thinking about it. And second thing is that how actually the supporting this sustainability, right? The issue is that can you actually support this sustainability effort? Because a lot of this effort require capital, a lot of supporting money. So that in the world, the more and more like investing capitals can changing to support this one. So traditionally they call like impact investing or the socially responsible investing. And then they are on the title in the sustainability and ESG. There are funding is more is a capital increase. And then now is 1/3 of the total like the capital that using in the world, the investment society is for the sustainability, and then it'll be more accelerated, more increase. That'll be another trend in the business side and investment side. And then individual people can think about, for example, that in the like for the our living in the like for example in the city life, and then there is a lot of the like activities how we actually to make your society better, and also in the technologically that they think about how you make your city life as a sustainable. That'll be another trend that your society get involved and then make your like environment, your like community more sustainable. That'll be another the trend now. And then finally then all this can be supported by the digital transformation. So more now is digital transformation. Sustainability ESG was divided before. For example, in the company level, there is for ESG sustainability, there is the chief sustainability officers. So usually the career track is something like their marketing side, and then also like for example PR side. Or some people are in the like a general management career track is the sustainability. And then that the engineers and then some of the like a business executive go into like a chief digital officer, chief technology officer, like a chief information officer, something like that. And they never communicate before, right? But now it started they communicate, because without the supporting by the technology, especially the digital transformation, you cannot achieve this kind of like a very, very complex and very, very like imperative, this goal to implement completely your sustainability goal in your company business practice is not possible. So they are starting to converse. And then I'm happy because I met Manuel, and then we discussed about this initiative. And then we have a same in mind, because he was a background in the digital transformation and started the sustainability ESG, and also the background in digital, and started to think about the sustainability ESG. And then why not combine? And then I find that we are in the like right direction to combine into side, and then they will be hand in hand, and then there will be like a synergy to combining. And then they will be like to achieve our sustainable ESG goal and the digital transformation goal. So, and the Manuel and me, and then individually also for make a forum like to how do they combine in the I call like a ESG DX is ESG process digital integrated transformation, and also Manuel was the same thing. And then we develop sometimes it collaborate how to make this happen, like developing new framework, methodology, and then have other people to integrate these two like pillars to make them have like a synergy. That's my answer for you.
Thank you, Alex. And just to summarize really quickly, I noticed 3 trends. So first thing, and the most important, we are already mainstream with sustainability, with ESG and digital transformation. The second question now how are we going to pay for it without breaking the bank? How are we going to pay for sustainability while we'll continue the economic development unhindered? And the third one, and thank you for the kudos and the same to you, we both identify that digital transformation goes hand in hand with sustainability and resilience of the companies. And we cannot separate them. And this is the time to break the communication barriers between the CTO, CIO, the people you mentioned in charge with technology and digital transformation, and the sustainability CSR reporting part of the company. So thank you very much for really highlighting the main trends in the industry. And I'll turn it to you, Isabella, for the next question.
Yeah, my question will be spontaneous as well. I like Alex prefer, right? Just really having a conversation. And I like how when you were talking about the future, the trend, you do sound like a futurist. Like you talk really as a visionary. You see the future. You can sense what's coming, and not to live in the past. For example, those virtual trends, right, and digital transformation, as well as the environment. I was speaking to several people who happen to really prioritize environment as their main goal instead of other things, because it seems like it's more urgent than we realize that. And there's certainly a lot of front that we need to cover. We need to really watch over, all together, like you said, to go hand in hand, not just one area. And you actually mentioned a little bit about the practical challenges that you're facing or we're facing in implementing and really making those things working for us. And aside from the capital, the financial, of course, the issue, and what other challenges do you see today that businesses need to overcome them in order to achieve their sustainability?
Oh yeah, actually that's one not just for the sustainability, for the in general in the business. Actually the problem that's my 30 years experience that I never have a problem with my expertise, right? For example, my experience expertise, but the problem is to communicate with other people. Right, so I was in government, university, and the startups and the big company. Whenever I went to the new community, actually, there wasn't actually my expertise and my function, and then my capability, and then that wasn't a problem. But the problem is a consensus communication, right? So I think that the most challenging, is to in the sustainability, especially for the that kind of value is you can think of. I'm also the attorney in the intellectual property, and then there was some comment about for example intangible capitals. A lot of people talk about intangible capital is really, really important, but intangible means you cannot see directly the value. It's the same thing. Sustainability value means long term, right? And then usually the people is heavy minded in the short term, right? There's a funny thing I experienced. A lot of people actually contact me because my business is incubating companies to innovate the technology and then get the kind of intellectual properties and then value up, and then make them go to the market to successful. And then whenever I talk with startup CEOs or the company executive, we started in a very good communication. For example, I said, I'm a visionary. I can look at the long term, a goal and the visions, and then I can help you. It is fascinating. Yeah, I like your experience and something like that. And the thing, but can you help us to get a profit in 6 months or a year? Yeah, you know, it's funny. For example, recently I working on the Metaverse. Actually, in the Metaverse, the hot issue is NFT, non-fungible tokens, because you can make whatever your asset, whether it's a physical or for example, in your background is beautiful art, and then you can make as an NFT, and then you can sell it. You're like NFT, and then we talk about a lot of the visions about the business and stuff like that, and then suddenly, and then the CEO told me that, can you help us to sell this NFT? So this is yeah, true nature of business, right? Even everybody says that, like, oh, we care about our proposal is for the stakeholders. We care about our society people, but unless actually that you have enough profit, and then after that actually that you can think about, right? And then whenever there are conflict between the short-term profit and the long-term sustainability like goals, always people tend to choose, right?
We know who wins there, right? We know
Yeah,
that
it
we
is
know
a
that the
human
short
nature, right? Right.
it is human nature. It's also the way the stock market and the funding works. And we have, I think, about $50 trillion now in sustainable and ESG funding flowing into the industry. And again, people expect every day they go on the stock exchange and they expect their stock to raise. And of course, the problems of the planet, the problems of equality, the problems of diversity, the problem of good governance, the problem of a balanced board of directors, diverse, both in split between men and women, and split between minorities and majority of the population. All these factors are long term, and they have a long term impact. So you're absolutely right. Your analysis is 100% accurate, and the clock market, the clock of the stock market is ticking minute by minute, day by day, and that drives actually the funding and the direction of the funding into ESG and sustainability. This is one of the reasons we are on the same wavelength, so to speak.
Yeah, that's why actually the Manuel and me actually the care about. Okay, so one way to overcome this is internal consensus through the intensive communication. You need to really have a intensive communication, because people can for example, they will be registered about for example, this is a norm, right? Short-term profitability is preferred than long-term goal is a norm, right? And then to make to break this norm in some way, you need to intensive communication required in a company wise from the board members, executive, and then other members, right? And then there should be consensus about that why we care about this long term, and then it ultimately have their creating values, right? But that's one way. But the other way actually Manuel and me, that actually we have experience in other industry that people join this ESG sustainability, and then we also have this kind of the problem. For example, that when I was for the R&D director, right, and then the company a CEO visit to me, and then how actually your R&D can be contributed in a short time, because R&D means the long term, right? You have the same experience. Like for example, in the before, we now call a CIO now. Before they call a director of the computing, right? And then they think about the IT means the spending cost, right? They don't think about value. It changes, right? Changing was very, very slow, but the transformation means that require a lot of effort, right? So we experience already, right? How you actually transform from the norm and the new norm, right? So that's not just for the sustainability. And then as a business career, we already experience in many different areas. So we understand that how actually the break this kind of changing this kind of the people's the traditional thinking and then make them a transition. So digital transformation experience one way, because digital transformation, a lot of people are fair is not just for the innovation, but mostly for the how you actually make change your like a company culture and the people's mind. So we already experienced in digital transformation. We also experience that in other sectors that how we overcome this one. So that's one actually the Manuel and me, and then based on our experience, expertise, to bring our expertise to this aspect. So to make the how we actually make that this kind of transformation is possible. And then people can be like more and more like have a mind that this kind of long term will be in the ultimately the short term goal also achieved. And then the other one actually is to like Manu and me is technical engineers, right? Based on my background, and now I did a lot of the career paths for the Tony and the law school and the business school, but my base is technology and science up to PhD. So we have looking at some problem as a system and try to solve the problem, right? So with our insight, actually, that we can provide some method, framework, methodology, actually, how you can balance this like a short-term profitability and the long-term sustainable goal. That's why actually the Manu and me research it. And then recently we developed a lot of the framework and methodology. And then I collaborated with Manu to publish one white paper. And also like Manu was working on another white paper to support, to have this community based on our expertise.
If you allow me also, is the time to bring into picture Vincula and the fact that the Vincula is made of many very successful engineers and leaders in the industry, most of them operating under IEEE, the Institute for Electrical and Electronic Engineers, which I think every engineer in this area knows about it. And when we're actually looking to publish a whole book under the GIDA, collaboration with Vincula as well. So there are still plans for the future.
Yeah.
And Alex, allow me to ask a quick, maybe the last question. You touch on Metaverse, you touch on fungible tokens, but how do you see the future of ESG, sustainability, digital transformation that, of course, Metaverse is part of? How this, in your crystal ball, how do they come together?
Oh, actually, that's one. I think that that's actually my recent effort to converge to that all aspect. The reason is that Metaverse will be our future society. That's when actually the Mark Zuckerberg changed his company name, and then he mentioned about that. So in the people will be join Metaverse, and then he spent some fraction of time everyday life in the Metaverse, right? And then it is started now, and then it will be in the future vision. And then also a lot of the many visionaries are expecting that the people's life will be changes because of this Metaverse. So we will think about like we are physical Earth and the Metaverse Earth. And then it will be the jointly, we will be part of this society, right? In the planet and the Metaverse, right? And then it definitely that means that how actually there will be future, right? Because whatever we care about the like a sustainability in the physical space will be moving this Metaverse space. That's I see. That's why then, because fortunately I know about the both sides. And then I imagine that in the some future this topic will be converged because the Metaverse will be part of our world in the future, right? And then sustainability will be for the world. In that case, the sustainability also not just for the physical world, but will be the Metaverse world, right? So that's what I'm looking at it. And then I looking at the what kind of thing and then I can do now, and then what can I do like to contribute to make that happen, right? So I did a lot of the like effort to get people and then get the attention from whether they are join my effort. And then I did my like webinar 2 times about the kind of topics. So actually the why this combination like Converge is important and how you can do that. For example, that one example, the recent in the metaverse trend is that there are a lot of the like the companies want to do like a physical shopping mall, like a physical like shopping like a shop, or the for example automobile like a showroom, whatever. They want to like make the physical corresponding physical showroom, physical shop to the metaverse shop. It's a now trend, and then they build up their like branch, even the bank branch in the metaverse, and then for example, what it happened is that if you go into metaverse, and then it'll be like a half for your sustainability. For example, that for the like a fashion industry. The fashion industry is very, very like, for example, like they waste a lot of the like fabrics, and then there are a lot of the waste after the, you know, that like the recycle of the clothes is very rare, right? Is they will be changing to like is a pollution to your environment. So if you care about the circular economy, and then if you have a butcher like the metaverse shop, and then you have a like for example that the people get together, and then they can try butcher thing before actually develop, actually produce, right? So they will reduce like your resource use, right? If they make you like a less resource use, and then your production will be decreased, but will be more like have revenue, more sell, because only the people will be produced, right? So advantage of that, people can try in the metaverse before actually make a production, right? So you will list the raw material, you will list the use of the even water, right? And then reduce your carbon emission, right? Even the logistics, like deliver like this raw material will be reduced, because only on demand you can request to you like a supplier. Even the people actually try and only order they want, actually also reduces during the like up supply chain that actually delivered to you, right? And then most significant company why is that by doing the opportunity is that because a lot of, for example, retailers, they have a problem with like people, a lot of people actually like just resend it, right? And then you know, like fire stocking, and then usually the cost of the like a rearrangement is much higher than actually the just discard, right? So that's another waste of the like a raw material and everything, and then it makes you like consume more electricity, everything, right? So this happen, this kind of new business practice in the metaverse will really have you make your business as a sustainability, right? So this is the one example that I mentioned, but there are many different actually that I recognize that you can make, for example, that less travel, right? Because yeah, people are trying to travel a lot, but now we'll be changing. If you can experience like this technology can provide like a really realistic immersive experience, then and then you know the manual you I know that you like a pre-country fly from your Dallas for visiting your daughter, and then back to like Mexico City, right? So, but actually,
I remember more Dallas to Tokyo than Dallas to Mexico City.
But if you feel that you looks like in either side because of the metaverse space you emerge, then it will be reduce your visiting frequencies, right? So it will be like less people will be like
and
travel.
Increase our efficiency really, because I can be virtually in Tokyo in the morning, before they go to sleep. And, I can come back to West Coast in the afternoon and have activities and calls with California. I feel like we can talk for not only the rest of the day, but until Metaverse really allows us
Metaverse
to see a three-dimensional view of ourselves.
Yeah, you know that I was a panel for the Metaverse event. Actually, I joined Metaverse meeting platform. So actually, my avatar joined and then give a talk, and then also like other people join as avatar, and then we communicated. Even we can dance.
No,
I'm not a good dancer.
Is your avatar also listening to the other avatars, or just does the talk?
Yeah, right. And then that's one. As one is beauty is actually I'm shy about if in the physical space I dance. I'm a little bit old, and then but I did my break dance in the Metaverse. Right? So how exciting is it, right? Yeah, so we can keep talking on, but
I am looking for my avatar to go to the gym instead of me, but that's a longer term project.
Yeah, so this is my summary. The Metaverse is not just for fun and the new trend. It will be support like our sustainability effort, and then in the future they will be combined. It's like exactly I mentioned, like sustainable ESG and digitalization go hand in hand. It will be the same thing, like sustainability, ESG, and Metaverse go in hand in hand. Right?
Thank you very much. No, you really projected a very powerful light into the Metaverse and showing us how we'll continue to work together on ESG, sustainability, digital transformation. And maybe I'll turn it to you, Isabella.
Wow, I really enjoyed everything Alex was describing because I feel like he just see it's coming. It's there. People just watch out. Yeah, and I have a whole chapter actually talking about this whole in my book, virtual metaverse. And it just really, if you believe in it, you just feel like it's there. And apparently we still need to make a bigger effort to kind of spread and sharing this kind of information to get into people's mind, right? To let them understand what is happening, because it's really abstract. You mentioned intangible. And as well as the benefits, whether it's very intangible to feel it, to touch, very different situation.
What is the title of your book? What are you working on? Tell us. I know it's not your interview, but share it with Alex.
Thank you. Thank you, Memo.
Yeah. If you need my help, like that, because I have last year that one author actually he interviewed in all of the world. At the time the Metaverse was not actually the boom, and then he started the interview as some visionary, and he interviewed me, and then other like visionaries, and then his book will be published in maybe in the middle of next month. And then thanks for my contribution. Actually, he provided like a free book. So if you want, then
cool.
I can be a good supporter for your writing. And then
amazing. Yeah. Wow.
So just let me know. Yeah.
Oh my, that's definitely out of my expectation. We definitely need to chat more about, because your profile is more about ESG, sustainability, and didn't expect so much, advanced metaverse concept. But now it's obviously very clear that that's your passion. That's your next frontier in your pursuit, right?
Right. I'm a very good like summarize, like conceptualize. So my expertise for the manual maybe experience that I can summarize book in one page.
Really?
Yeah. So I made like a 10 like famous in all the digital transformation, sustainability, and the Metaverse book in a one page.
I really suggest he will go through your book and summarize it in one page. It's very powerful. It takes you a good half an hour to figure out how this single page works. But once you figure it out, it's like you enter the Metaverse. You suddenly see a whole book together, right? In one page.
We have to talk, Alex.
Yeah, we have to talk, but in the interest of time, we also have to sum up and conclude for today. Otherwise, our audience will go and go to sleep.
I know.
So please, Isabella, turning to you for the closing remarks.
Absolutely, absolutely. I hope everyone enjoyed the spontaneous chat. We tried to keep it really easygoing, easy to digest, and Alex did a wonderful job to kind of picturing the future for us through digital transformation, ESG, and the virtual reality. And thank you all, my dear audience, for joining us. Thanks again, our dear guest, Alex, for taking the time. Make sure everyone to tune in every week for a new episode of AKFI's Actionable ESG Talk series, where you can gain new perspective and how to mitigate risks, right? How to create a future that is sustainable and create value by integrating ESG with digital transformation. Until the next time, thank you all very much. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you very much, Alex. Much appreciated, and hope to see you again soon.
Thank you.